Welcome. In today's Timeless Pick a Card, we're looking into someone who may be on your mind and you're wondering, what have they recently realized about you? This is a timeless reading, meaning it is meant for you when you find it. So let's find out what the person on your mind has recently realized about you. Pile 1, we have the firefly. Pile 2, the octopus. And pile 3, the deer. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Timestamps will be in the description box. Pause the video now if you need more time to choose your pile. See you at your pile. Welcome, pile 1. If you chose the firefly, this is going to be your reading. So you could have Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries in your chart. What has the person on your mind recently realized about you, right? Okay, so what they have realized about you is that you are a light in the dark, that you shine brightly, that you are someone who is very inspired and very inspiring. But they also see you as someone who may be a little bit fleeting, someone who, I don't want to say flaky, but if you know that's you, okay? In and out, kind of wishy-washy. If you really don't resonate with that, then that may not be the case. It could just be that you're very busy and you're putting out a lot of fires and you're spreading your light and you're spreading your joy and you're spreading joy wherever you go. I do see that. They see you as someone, they have recently realized that you are someone who they may have missed out on, or someone who you have to kind of seize the moment and otherwise they're gone, that kind of thing. So they've recently realized that maybe they didn't seize an opportunity with you and next minute they thought they had more time or something. They do see you as someone very creative, but at times they recently realize that you may be a little bit burned out as well. They've realized that you're someone who has this ability to create, an immense ability to create, but it's like you may experience burnout from creating so much. They see that you may overdo it at times. There's something very poetic about you that they realized recently. All right, what else have they recently realized about you? And we have South Node. Okay, they realize that you sometimes hold yourself back. First house in the number 1, and we have Capricorn. So you could have Capricorn in your chart, or Aries, or you could have your rising in Capricorn. They've realized recently that you're dealing with a few restrictions and you may be a little bit oppressed, which is possibly why you could be a little bit fleeting. They've realized that recently that maybe the reason why you don't make yourself available is because you can't be available for whatever reason, because they see you as someone there's something about your past that is holding you back, and it's like they feel that you could get a lot more done, or you could make a lot more progress and headway if you weren't going through these things in the past and you weren't stuck on these things in the past. And so they see you, they've recently realized that you may need help moving on or healing from a past situation here that keeps your mind oppressed. Because other than that, they see that you have sparks of inspiration, but then it's like they get lost and you don't really do much with them because of this thing that's holding you back, and it's something to do with your past, okay? We have the womb. I will definitely see you as someone extremely creative, possibly someone, if this is a romantic connection, that they would like to have children with, if that is a possibility for you. The number 46 could be relevant, as well as the number 10 and the number 1. They see you as some kind of new beginning. And if this is someone you're asking about romantically, because it doesn't have to be, they are very attracted to you. They have a lot of passion toward you, and they've recently realized that they are very attracted to you. Okay? I'm seeing, if this is your boss, they have realized that you have immense potential, but you hold yourself back a lot. They do see you as someone creative, but they would like to see you unblocking whatever is blocking you, especially if these are fears connected to things that happened to you in the past. King. So they see leadership qualities in you, right? They've recently realized that you are a very good leader. And if let's say you have employees or people you manage, they see you as someone very kind and understanding and benevolent. You know about effective leadership, and you know how that has nothing to do with being oppressive. And so although you hold yourself back, you make sure you're not oppressing or holding anyone else back. 10 of Wands. So they've recently realized that you have a lot of responsibilities, that you are dealing with a few burdens here and there, or many burdens, should I say. They've recently realized that you are responsible for many things, 10 important things that direct your life at the moment, and they feel that you may need some help with that load. Knight of Wands, yeah, and they've recently realized that the reason why you may not be as constant or available is because you're dealing with all these things, and you simply don't have the time because you're constantly managing a lot of stuff, even stuff that's not your own. So what they have realized recently about you is that you may be a really good leader, but at the same time, the one thing is that you may find it hard to delegate. It's almost like you're almost too good to the people who surround you, and you can do a lot, and you do a lot, and you don't see the toll that takes on you, namely burnout. Okay, 3 of Wands. Again, they see that you could make a lot more headway in your life. You could get a lot more done if only you could delegate, and they see a lot of potential in you, and they do see you being successful. But 5 of Swords, it's almost like you allow too many people to deter you, to stop you, and it may not be something conscious, but it may be something about not establishing healthy boundaries. Even though you are such a kind boss or leader or whoever you are to your family or the people around you, but it's like people always hold something, or they always expect something from you, or they're always like wanting something from you, and it's like you're very burdened by this, and this really plays on your mind. Like you allow this, and I'm not saying this is a conscious thing that you do, but it's almost like because of whatever happened to you as a child, it was so ingrained in you that you almost allow people to guilt trip you or make you feel bad about, not doing something for them. So we have the High Priestess, and they've recently realized that there's a lot that you keep to yourself about this. You don't really go around telling people that this is what you're dealing with. they've kind of picked this up intuitively, or they've observed you enough to realize that you are a very powerful human being, and very spiritual and very intuitive. But it's like you almost go against your intuition many times because you allow other people to kind of dictate how your life is going to be. They've also recently realized about you is that you are extremely hot and sensual, and it's like you activate a passion in them, if this is something, of course, romantic that you're asking about. But even if it's not romantic, this person on your mind has realized that you are someone who is extremely sensual, very sexy, even though you may hide under, you know, these really baggy clothing. But they've realized that you're quite hot, okay? Whether this is romantic or not, they've recently realized this about you, that there's a fire within you that you hide very well. Especially in work situations, you have like a good poker face, I would say, looking at these cards and picking whatever I'm picking up intuitively here. The number 33 could be relevant to you, as well as the number 6. They've realized recently that you're a lot more powerfully spiritually connected than they initially thought. That you are just very, what is the word for this? Spiritually advanced or awakened. And that you are very knowledgeable and intelligent. You guys got lepidocrosite for your crystal, so let's see what it says. Open heart, grounded, and teacher. So they've recently realized that you are very open-hearted, but you're also a strong spiritual teacher, because I do see spiritual teacher here. They realize that they can learn a lot from you, and you're someone who can be very practical and methodical, but also very spiritual. So you're very well-grounded, and at the same time, you're very connected to the higher. Okay, victory. So, well, they have realized that you are successful when it comes to attracting, they've realized recently that you have a lot of options when it comes to love, but it could also be that they have realized that when it comes to your love life, you've been dealing with your fair share of, I don't know if it's arguments, that they see you having arguments with someone, or they realize that you have been or are in a toxic relationship. But they also see that you have what it takes to rise above. And they see you as someone who, they've realized recently that you are someone who you will never be short of people who want you. Let's say that. They see you as someone very attractive. They realize that you are maybe a lot more attractive than they thought you were. And looking at this again, practical and methodical, lepidocrosite approaches spirituality in a tangible way. Grounding practices back to earth. They see you as definitely someone who is very sensual. They recently realized that you may have a really good body, like you take care of your body, and you used to hide that, and they see that now or something. They see you very connected to earth, but also in nature, but also God, spirit, your higher self, the higher realms. And they see you as someone who has a lot of spiritual knowledge that you can pass down. You are very versed in spiritual teachings here, and you also value tradition. It's not like you don't give yourself away sexually that easily. They realized that about you recently, and you are focused on what's best for everyone, and the highest good of humanity. They also have realized that you are very committed to your life's purpose, and you are very focused on the things you need to get done, and they've realized recently that you're actually very focused on making progress, and you're getting very close to achieving your dreams. So pile number 1, that was your reading. It was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Let me know how that resonates for you in the comment section. If it did not, just choose another pile. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. It really helps the channel. It helps me bring you more. Extra content is now, meanwhile, exclusively on Patreon. I have been uploading there more. And very soon on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter. I don't know what my handle is on Twitter, to be honest. I will check that for you and let you know, but you can find it in my community page. I will be uploading new, so you can find me on Twitter. Okay, it's twitter.com/aetherascended, AETHER, ascended, aetherascended, okay? On Twitter, I will be uploading new content there soon, within the next month, okay, give or take. I'm not putting a very pressured time frame on it, so I'm also learning about using Twitter more. So that was your reading. It was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Bless you all and see you sometime soon. Bye. Till next time. Welcome, pile 2. If you chose the octopus, this is going to be your reading. What has the person on your mind recently realized about you is today's pick a card. So with the octopus, so I feel they've recently realized that you have the ability to take on a lot of tasks at once. You are a good multitasker. You are someone who is very intelligent. You have the ability to connect the dots. You connect one event to the other. You're not someone who just sees things as separate. Like, you can see that if, let's say, someone is lacking energy, that could be related to the fact that they're not sleeping enough, or they're not eating correctly. And the fact that they're not sleeping enough, it could be because they are fostering a negative mindset. It could be a number of things that I'm seeing here, but basically they realize that there's a lot more to you than meets the eye, and you're very, very smart, very intelligent, very quick-witted, and you can control many things at once, and you have a grasp on many more things than, they could realize that you are a little bit of an overthinker and controlling. Doesn't mean you are controlling of others, but you like to be in control, if that makes sense. And it's like they realized recently about you that you could be fearful, and the reason why you try to control every single aspect of your life is because you fear things may fall apart if you don't. They've realized that you're very, very perceptive. You have a wonderful mind, but it could be that you do too many things for others, and you could lack some healthy boundaries. You could experience messy relationships. And, at the time, if your shadow comes out, it could be that you could be come across as a little bit needy or clingy. But of course, don't resonate. If this doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. But they see you as someone who's very engaged, and when you listen, and you're interested, and you really process what people are telling you. You're not just looking at them. You're not just hearing, you're listening intently and with intention. And you may do this a little bit too much, to the point where it takes away from your own time, that you're listening to so many people. Okay. Wow. You could have Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio strongly in your chart. as well. You could be emotional, someone you can get emotional over things. What have they realized about you? That you're very loyal. You could have Taurus in your chart. That you like to be at home or take care of your home. That your childhood and your past and your family is important to you. Mars, that you really do all you can for the people you love. Okay? You're juggling your life as well as other people's lives. That you are a good nester, or you're really good at taking care of the home. The crone, they see you as someone who is very wise. Whether you're older or wise beyond your years, you're very wise. You're a good communicator. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius could be in your chart. The number 13 and the number 4, you're very organized, very caring, very supportive. And we have the slave here. But at the same time, you could feel like they've recently realized that, you know, you could be something like giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices is one thing that's coming up here and as in your shadow. Or you just surrender with complete trust that, you know, you are here to serve the divine and God and others around you. But they realize that you don't have a lot of healthy boundaries, and so it could be that what you think is being of service to others is actually enslaving you and enabling them to just keep their life very light. And so while you just take all the chores and the weight of the responsibility on your shoulders. And so they've realized recently that even though you are someone who is very wise, you're using your wisdom to serve others in a way that is enabling them to keep riding on your hard work, so to speak. Possibly, okay. If it doesn't resonate at all, just choose another pile. You could have Aries, Cancerian, or Taurus energy in your chart. Have the Six of Swords. Yeah, they see you as someone who's always dealing with turbulence or other people's turbulence, but they've realized that you have taken some steps to heal this aspect. The Queen of Wands, they've realized that you're very attractive, very beautiful, very capable, very inspiring, and very inspired and very positive at the end of the day, even though you do deal with a lot. You could have Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries in your chart. Okay, now the number 4, very methodical, very organized, but they do see you stuck in a little bit of a bubble here that you can't really escape, because you're just stuck in these daily chores or routines where you're the one taking care of things and leading and all of that, but you don't really have space for yourself or much else in your life. The Six of Cups. They see you as someone very sweet. They've realized that you're very sweet and that you may have shared a past life together, or that they've known you since childhood and they didn't quite know that, and they woke up to the fact that, wait a second, maybe we've known each other for a very, very long time. 8 of Swords, but they realize that you are quite nostalgic, or you stay stuck in the past in your mind, or in a certain way of doing things the same way over and over. And this is keeping you in some kind of a loop, like you don't really take risks outside of what your routines are. But they see you as someone very sweet, and they realize that you are very sweet, but also they realize that you are an overthinker, and you could have obsessive thinking, or an obsessive connection to doing things the way they've always been done. So they see a certain level of stubbornness in you, even though they realize that you're very, very attractive and you're a very steadfast and loyal leader. But at the same time, they realize that you're very stuck in constructs of the past. And so they do see you a little bit as a slave to your past. even though you have a lot of knowledge that you share, they feel that you restrict yourself a lot. And they realize that you could use your knowledge more to free yourself from the mental entrapment. Yeah, hole in the soul. They've realized that something must have happened in your past, especially possibly in your childhood, that really, really, really took a hit on your soul. It was something very strong, very hard and heavy and painful that took something from you. And if it did happen to you, I'm very sorry if this is the case, but they've realized that something must have happened here, and that kept you in this fear and stuck in the past here. The number 36 could be relevant, as well as the number 9, but they do see you. They realize that you're very valuable and you have a really beautiful heart. With this emerald here, spring, unity, and vitality. They do see you as very lush. Despite whatever you've been through, they see that you spring back, even though it looks like you are doing well. They kind of pick up that mentally you may not be doing that well, that you have a good, it's outside you show something, you really, really look good, and you look like you have everything together, but they've realized that you may be crumbling inside. But they realize that you could be very successful in a relationship with them, if this is a love relationship, or they see you as someone who is very successful in love, but at the same time there's just something where you're still very stuck on a past here. But they see you as very loyal, very steadfast, as someone who could be a good friend and a good partner that they can count on, someone that they can count on. They do see that you harbor unconditional love, but this only happens at times where you're not obsessively thinking or overthinking or stuck in your mind or stuck in fear. So they see you go to extremes here. On the one hand, you're capable of being really healthy and loving and glowing and growing, but then at other times you kind of retreat back into a state of fear and confusion, and because there's something that hasn't been solved from your past. So they see glimpses of a healthy, glowing, happy you and loving you, but most of the time they do see that you retreat a lot. So it could be that you spend a lot of time alone or away from them. So they kind of have realized that you go into these times where you just need a lot of time on your own. And so they do see the potential in you being a lot happier, is what I see here. You could have a Venus or Mars Sagittarius placement, but again, it doesn't have to be. And we have the Sun. So they realize that you make them happy, and you are otherwise a happy person, and you can, anything you can touch can grow, and you have this potential to be very happy. They realize that you could be a really good parent, mother or father, and that you can really raise happy children. But it could be that you are a slave to parenthood in some way, and while you can make other people happy, you take a long time recovering and to yourself to make sure that you have more to give, if that makes sense. Other than that, you would pour your heart and soul into your kids if you have them, or if you had them. And that's what they've recently realized about you. Pile number 2, that was your reading. It was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing these videos. It really helps the channel. It helps me bring you more. If you'd like to be notified of future uploads on the channel, go ahead and hit the bell for notifications. Extra content is now exclusively on Patreon. I have been uploading there a lot more. Information for that is in the description box, the link to my Patreon. And for Twitter, which I will be uploading new content there, different content there, eventually within the next month. You can find my handle on the community page. I believe it's twitter.com/aetherascended. And if you'd like a reading, life purpose report, dream interpretation, energy healing from me, you can find my email in the description box. It was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Bless you all and see you sometime soon. Bye. Till next time. Welcome, pile 3. If you chose the deer, this is going to be your reading about whoever's on your mind, the person on your mind. What have they recently realized about you? All right. So you could have Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo in your chart. What have they recently realized about you is that you are a lot more vulnerable, fragile than they anticipated. You're also a lot more introverted than they anticipated. Maybe you came across as more extroverted and they're seeing a side to you which is unexpected. They realize that you are someone who's very loving, very intuitive, very graceful, and you have this nurturing quality to you that is very mother-like. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. You have this nurturing side to you. You are someone who's very compassionate and receptive, concerned and protective of those you love, of those who you are responsible for, especially if they're your kids, okay? If you have kids, of course, they realize that you are very beautiful, inside and out. And we have, let me just open this up. I was going to grab another card, but before we move to that, I want to roll these dice. And we have Aquarius, so you could have Aquarius in your chart. The number 2, second house, partnerships, but also money and self-worth, and the moon. So, yeah, okay. They realize that you keep a lot to yourself. You're very private about your relationships. You are a visionary. And you don't really share your financial situation. They are very, it's like you're very mysterious about how much money you make, or they can't quite grasp anything about you financially, okay? But they may have recently realized that you have a fragile sense of self-worth. The shapeshifter, the number 15 could be relevant. They've recently realized that you have an ability to act accordingly. I just heard act accordingly with this shapeshifter. Whatever the situation requires you to be, or however it requires you to act, they realize that you have this immense ability. Now, if you're an actor, you're a really good one. I don't see that you're deceptive at all, because you're coming from a place of love. It's just, it could be that they've realized that you hide your feelings really well. The number 6 could be relevant here. And this is interesting. We have detectives. So they've realized that you're a really good detective. You're very intuitive and perceptive. You have good powers of observation. And you're always interested in knowing the truth. But they've also realized that a lot of people are interested in you because you are very mysterious, and a lot of people take an interest in you. But they've realized that you're a good detective, and you can be somewhere and people not notice that you're there. You can somehow chameleon your way into being somewhere and people not knowing that you're there. Interesting. Okay, they also see you as someone who is very sensitive. Sensitive, but also sensible. Okay. The Magician, They've realized that you are a very powerful manifester, and that you actually, people have no idea of just how magical you really are. Because again, you don't really advertise this at all. You don't really advertise yourself at all. You could have Gemini or Virgo in your chart. Knight of Chalices. You are a bearer of good news, and you're a very loving person, very friendly and loving, and available to help others. The Chariot, you get a lot done and you focus on your goals and you normally accomplish your goals. They realize that you're a good driver. The Lover, you're a good lover and you hold a lot of love in your heart, but they've also realized recently that you have an important decision to make, and you may be swaying on going back to your past with this decision. Eight of Pentacles, your hard work is paying off. You are a workaholic, but your hard work is paying off, and they recently realized that you are on your way to making a lot of money. They've also recently realized that you've made a decision when it comes to your love life here to be more dedicated to someone here. Cancerian energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Gemini, Capricorn, Virgo could be signs in your chart. But they've also recently realized that you tend to do things the way you've always done them, go back to your past. You always default back to the past, even though they see that you have a lot of potential here to move toward the future and be very more successful. So if you allow yourself to move into the future, but you may be someone who's very shy and you shy away from taking new risks, if that makes sense here. Temptation. They've realized that, what have they realized? That, wait a second, about you, that you're a temptation to them, or that you're very tempted by something. So you're a temptation to them. So take what resonates here. You're either a temptation to them or you're tempted. By them? Okay. They realized recently about you that you have recently been tempted to take risks and do things differently recently. Okay. You got Wavelite, and it says decisions, flow, and big picture. They recently realized that you have a big decision here to make. A big decision that's gonna be a life changer, and it involves a risk, and it involves the future. It involves doing things differently, and you're thinking about taking that risk. You're very tempted to take that risk. You're someone who combines intuition with logic, okay? And they've recently realized that you are working on clearing some energy blockages and healing on a soul level or physical level or both to amplify your energy. It seems like you're on a upward kind of trajectory here. Angel of love, but they've realized that you are an angel and you would do anything for the people you love. You're an angel of love. I do see this is how they see you, an angel of love. They've realized this, that love is your priority at the end of the day. You're a lover, and the number 49 could be relevant to you, the number 4 as well, and that you would put love first and foremost at the forefront of all your decisions, all your manifestations, and everything in your life, okay? And that's where you come from, a place of love. So that was your reading, pile number 3. It was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Let me know how this resonates for you in the comment section. If it did not, choose another pile. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. It really helps the channel. It helps me bring you more. If you would like to be notified of future uploads on the channel, go ahead and click the bell for notifications. Extra content is now exclusively on Patreon. I have been uploading there. More information for my Patreon is in the description box. Very soon I will be uploading new and different content also on Twitter. I'm learning more about Twitter and how to upload there. So if you want to be one of the first people to see what I do there, you can go ahead and start following me there. And yeah, it was a pleasure to read for you guys today. Bless you all and see you sometime soon. Bye. Till next time.